Today we're going to look at executive-led AI transformation and why it's essential to the organization that AI transformation begins in the boardroom, and how workshop discussions as one approach can contribute to the galvanization of action toward AI transformation. We'll look at this process from the point of view that for AI to succeed, it must transition from a series of isolated experiments into a core strategic capability. This is not a task for the IT department alone. It is a fundamental shift in thinking that must originate and be led from the very top, the boardroom. So let's dive into and see why this approach is so critical. So increasingly, AI will be seen by companies as not merely a new tool, but a core part of their value creation strategy. It will increasingly enable the creation of value, managing risk, and defining strategic challenges. Therefore, treating AI as a collection of disjointed technology projects already puts a company at a disadvantage to those which take a more strategic approach to AI. So developing a unified executive-led vision is key to moving forward. This task is not one to outsource, but to be carried out by the board and the C-suite leadership directly. So this brings us to a critical question every leadership team must ask. Are we using AI simply to build better products, or are we using it to build a new future? The former involves incremental improvements to existing processes, something that AI excels very well at this. We're seeing more and more examples across companies, across organizations. But the latter, however, is about redefining business models and creating new revenue streams. What's the difference, and what does this mean for the organization? So one way of looking at it is to see what organizations are actually doing to enable AI. So 82% of businesses by one study leaders claim AI integration, and the operational reality where only 34% have actually equipped their employees with AI tools. The gap between aspiration and implementation in this context is a critical challenge. So let's look at this strategy reality gap more closely. The data is quite telling. While a vast majority of C-suite leaders publicly champion their organization's use of AI, a low percentage of employees are actually equipped with AI tools, and that reveals a significant disconnect. So this implementation gap, that while strategies may exist on paper, the practical adoption and integration across the workforce are severely lacking. So the solution, as we'll discuss, is not more memos or mission statements. This is where getting the C-suite together can make a huge difference. And to help ensure that the leadership is on the same page with respect to AI, and that the leadership is in harmony, building a high-level strategic vision with an actionable plan for implementation. So with an executive-led strategy, what companies need to aim for is not just doing the same things faster and cheaper. The real power of this executive-led strategy is shifting the organization's focus from merely catching up to building new, genuine differentiators, and to move beyond optimization to use AI to create new opportunities. So how do we achieve this? A well-structured strategic workshop can be a galvanizing starting point, and aims to bring together three critical pillars: core business priorities, tech-enabled potential, and agreement over the risk appetite. So by anchoring the decision around these elements, then every AI investment can become a strategic one directly tied to the enterprise goals and ambitions. So the first order of business in a workshop of this nature is to align the AI vision with the company's North Star, its overall mission and business goals. The C-suite must collectively answer two fundamental questions. First, what is the core business problem we're trying to solve with AI? And second, what level of ambition, investment, and risk are we willing to undertake? So a key concept here is bidirectional alignment. While business goals should drive the AI agenda, we need to allow emerging AI capabilities to influence and reshape the business direction, creating a dynamic and adaptive strategy. So let's look at some real-world applications. In manufacturing, as an example here, pivoting from reactive maintenance to predictive maintenance using AI native operating model. In financial services, the unified goal of a single trusted customer view can lead to a shared enterprise platform for both personalization and fraud detection, for example. And in pharmaceuticals, AI is being used to accelerate drug discovery using simulations to influence billion-dollar investments. In each case, a C-suite-led workshop can be the starting point, providing governance and mandate to elevate AI from a departmental experiment to an enterprise-wide transformation. Of course, a workshop is only the beginning. The vision forged by the C-suite must also be translated into an actionable plan. So this process involves 4 critical steps. First, we must prioritize and vet use cases to identify high-impact projects. Second, there's a need to establish a solid data foundation and governance framework. This is absolutely essential to ensure that the AI accomplishes its objectives and with a lower risk profile, because as we all know and have heard in the news, things can go the wrong way with AI. So third, along with that, is the importance of designing an AI operating model that defines how AI integrates into workflows and the talent strategy itself. And finally, all of this culminates in a strategic roadmap with clear milestones and metrics. So these steps transform ideation into a measurable path for execution. So let's break down the first step, prioritizing use cases. A highly effective tool for this is the value versus feasibility matrix. So in this case, by plotting potential projects on this matrix, we can clearly identify the quick wins. In other words, those projects in the top right quadrant that offer high business value and are highly feasible to implement, something the organization can do in the near term. Prioritizing these quick wins is crucial for building momentum and demonstrating early ROI and securing broader organizational buy-in. However, it's equally important to ensure that the portfolio as a whole also includes long-term transformational opportunities that are being pursued over time and that have potential to redefine the core business. So moving to step 2, we need to address the data foundation and governance. Data is the lifeblood of any AI system. So the first task is having a thorough data readiness assessment. And in this case, the question is our data clean, integrated, accessible, and relevant to the objectives? And then secondly, equally critically, is establishing a robust governance framework. This addresses privacy and security issues and issues of algorithmic bias that often creeps up in AI models, and helps to establish a clear accountability structure so that when things don't go right, there is a way to deal with it, somebody is responsible, and a resolution will be developed. The third step focuses on the human and systemic elements. So the AI operating model and talent strategy are an important part of this. This includes identifying critical skills gaps from data engineers and ethicists and deciding whether to build those capabilities internally or through upskilling, or to leverage strategic partnerships or external service providers and to hire directly for these kinds of roles. Simultaneously, we need to plan for integration. How will AI tools fit into the existing enterprise system, like the CRM or ERP? These areas can be addressed in the planning for a phased implementation and change management plan. So step 4, the strategic roadmap and success metrics. This includes developing a multi-phase roadmap that sequences quick wins, strategic transformations, and future AI-driven innovations, all with clear milestones. It also includes KPIs that cover both technical metrics like model accuracy and business metrics like cost reduction or customer retention. So to elevate the conversation from technology to strategy, the C-suite must grapple with many questions, and here are 5 essential ones to lead the workshop discussion. So first, are we using AI to build real differentiators? Or are we just playing catch up? Is an organization looking for AI to forge its way forward and to help develop its strategy over the long run, or is it looking to basically follow what everyone is doing in hopes of achieving the benefits of AI? So second, how does our benefit model change if AI makes the core offering, for example, 50% cheaper? What is that going to do to the organization? It's a bit of a stretch question, but it helps us to bias the discussion by orienting the thinking around key value drivers that AI can bring to the table. So, for example, what proprietary data do we possess that can create an insurmountable competitive moat? What can this information that we have already help to not only propel us forward, but also to protect us against competition, give us an unfair advantage and a leg up on the other businesses in the same industries? And finally, what level of AI literacy is required for our executives and the workforce? And finally, what are the risks that AI poses, and are we prepared to manage those risks accordingly? So with that, the goal here is to move AI from its current state, as it is in many organizations, being disconnected departmental technology projects, to a true strategic capability. This means shifting from limited implementation to an executive-led, enterprise-wide transformation. Beginning this journey with senior leadership workshop-like discussions can enable rapid alignment and set a clear strategic direction, which is essential for prioritizing implementation and rolling out a robust transformation. So with that, wish you the best on your AI journey, and thanks for tuning in. Have a great day ahead.